What is the wisest saying y'all have ever heard? Hate is like drinking poison and hoping the other person dies. My top 5 favorite quotes. Adaru suffer more from imagination than from reality. Ara cynica. Adari are silly to try to escape other people's faults. They are inescapable. Just try to escape your own. Marcus Aurelius. Adari if you have a problem, that can be fixed. There is no use in worrying. If you have a problem that cannot be fixed, there is no use in worrying. A Buddhist proverb. The world is a comedy to those that think, a tragedy to those that feel. Horace Walpole. If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. This you have the power to revoke at any moment. Marcus Aurelius. Real wealth is never having to spend time with our souls. John Waters. Don't take criticism from someone you won't take advice from. Don't do heroin. But love it. I never have. Thank you random bus stop guy. Pay attention to how people talk about others while they're not there. It's how they'll talk about you while you're not there. If it smells everywhere you go, maybe it is you. Learning from mistakes is one of the best ways to learn. The reason they have to be your own. You will always meet your destiny on the path you took trying to avoid it. Revenge solves everything. Dishonored. When I was young, my father told me, don't cry for something that can't cry for you. Really helped me see what was important or not as a child when I used to cry over lost toys, etc. As an adult there's obviously exceptions, but helped me through a lot of things. Like failed relationships, where I realized I shouldn't cry for someone who wasn't crying about me. Time you enjoyed wasting is not wasted time. We have 2 lives, and the second begins when we realize we only have one. Confucius. Getting old beats the alternative. Lack of attention doesn't mean lack of knowledge. All it takes for evil to prevail is for good people to do nothing. People like people who like people. Measure twice. Cut once. You don't tug on Superman's cape. Don't spit onto the wind. You don't pull the mask off the old Lone Ranger, and you don't mess around with Jim. What stands in the way becomes the way. A good amount of time you're not in love. You're infatuated and choosing to ignore red flags and other signs of toxicity out of your deep-rooted fear of loneliness. Fuck it, dude. Let's go bowling. If you depressed, you are living in the past. If you are anxious, you are living in the future. If you are at peace, you are living in the present. Laotzu. Life. Sexually transmitted and terminal. The people around you tell a lot about yourself. Not sure where I heard this from. If you're good at something, never do it for free. Never pee facing the wind. Ignorance is bliss. So, one of the truest sayings out there. Don't be a cunt. It is easier to fool someone than to convince them they've been fooled. Don't practice until you get it right. Practice until you can't get it wrong. That's too much weed. You'd not smoke all that. Second time smoking with my friend. Have listened. Life's a bitch. Then you die. An eye for an eye and the world goes blind. The greatest mistake a smart person can make is thinking that they're smart. People don't quit companies. They quit management. You might want to think about that. Work smarter, not harder. Don't do anything you are not prepared to do. If it is to be, is up to me. The best way to get on your feet is to get off your ass. Wisdom is knowing you know nothing. Hurting people. Hurt people. And hate the action, not the person. My dad told me these when I was being bullied. Helped me build empathy and actually talk to my bully. Turns out they just really needed a friend and was trapped. Of course you're a failure. We all are in one way or another. What matters is what you do with that. I know the Goliath fucking bird eating spider can't fly, because if it could, it would have a different name entirely. We would call it Sir, because it would be the dominant species on this planet. None of us would leave the house unless a Goliath fucking bird eating spider would say it's okay. Humans do not understand compassion. In each moment of our lives, we betray it. I know of its worth. Yet in knowing we then attach to it a value. We guard the giving of it, believing it must be earned. Compassion is priceless in the truest sense of the word. Steven Erickson. Memories of Ice. The meaning of life is to become the person you want to be. Even if you persuade me, you won't persuade me. Aristophanes. Don't listen just to talk. Looking for your happiness or satisfaction inside other people or events will only lead to frustration. Build your own happiness within your life and the people and situations will be much more pleasant in the long run. Follow your heart, but take your brain with you. The world is changed by your example, not by your opinion. Always leave wishing you could stay a little longer. A Ariel can make fun of a cow, but the cow will never understand English. Life's hard. It's harder if you're stupid. Just send it. AskReddit mind is everything. What you think. Become. There's 3 sides to every story. Your side. My side. The truth. In marriage, you can be right. Or you can be happy. Ariel like a Lamborghini driving in a small town. You know you're capable of going 300 km/h. And everyone else will know it too. Why do you feel like you need to prove to everyone how fast you can drive? It's hell getting old, my great grandma. Don't learn from your mistakes. Learn from other people's mistakes so you don't make any. Monkeys can't sell bananas. A stitch in time saves 9. One of many wise words shared with me. Time is our most valuable commodity, and one should strive to use it well. I had a math teacher in middle school who said, ratio of your ears to mouth is 2 to 1. You should listen twice as much as you speak. The subtle is often profound. The true master is an eternal student. Anger gives motivation without purpose. Master ye. Don't look back in regret, but move on with hope. Don't sweat the petty things. Don't pet the sweaty things. You only live once. But if you do it right, once is enough. People who worry about what other people think of them are often surprised to learn others don't think of them at all. Needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. Or the one. Q Fry saying, but it's my life. Close bracket. Forgiveness is divine. But never pay full price for a late pizza. I always interpret it along the lines of be forgiving of people, but don't let them walk all over you. You need the dark in order to show light. Bob Ross. What cannot be helped must be endured. My grandfather. Empty vessels make the most noise. Life's a garden. Dig it. Joe Dirt. You are now becoming what you are going to be. Do or do not. There is no try. Oda. Are you so busy fighting you cannot see your own ship has set sail? My top 2. You can either die a hero or live to see yourself become the villain. It is good enough for you. It is good enough for me. Keep calm. Focus today. Better to have remorses than regrets. Of course within limit of reason. You build your own roads. That's what my friend said to me. Never blame on malice what can be adequately explained by stupidity, or ignorance or clumsiness or similar. You're gonna miss out on a lot of good pussy trying to fuck faces. I met many wise men. I outlived them all. Because I ignored them. Elena Tyrrell. Game of Thrones. The only certainty is uncertainty. I don't know if it's always wise, but most of the time I think it is. Only look in another person's bowl to see if they have enough to eat. Instead of paying $30 for cigars, pay for alcohol instead. If you wanna overdose, it's more efficient and less time consuming. Hug until you drop under the rug. Egos trip but the humble don't stumble. Heroes aren't created from hard times. It's during the hard times when the hero within us is revealed. No good deed goes unpunished. The desiderata by Maximum Erman. To worry is to pay a debt of misery that may never come due. Accept inevitable outcomes. Do your best to change changeable outcomes to your liking. Worrying does nothing. My grandpa used to say add a extra little effort saves you from a world of trouble later on. Use some extra little effort to put things back in their place so you know exactly where to find them next time. So on. It has been gone for over a decade, but I still say these words to myself. If I feel super lazy, when you do things right, people won't be sure you've done anything at all. God on Futurama. Shoot your shot, or if you have the shot, fucking shoot it. A bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush. Just because you can does not mean you should, and just because it is comfortable does not mean it is good. Letting words bother you instead of their actions shows your weakness. P.O. Maybe I should just quit and go back to making noodles. Oogway. Quit. Don't quit. Noodles? Don't noodles? You are too concerned about what was and what will be. There is a saying, yesterday is history. Tomorrow is a mystery. But today is a gift. This is why it is called the present.